Hey there, it's Juju, and it's day 141. And with everything that's happening down in LA with the immigration and ICE, I thought we'd talk about, being, if you're an American and you're in this country and you're white, you are probably an immigrant. I'm the granddaughters of immigrants on both my mother's and father's side. So today I'm going to talk about Mary Masare Thome, who is my maternal grandmother. She was born in 1906 and at the age of 7 immigrated to the United States from what was then Czechoslovakia. And she was told to expect that the streets were going to be paved in gold in America. And she landed, came through Ellis Island, went to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and then to Racine, and found that no, the streets were mud, just like where she had come from. She didn't speak any English, and she was definitely considered a foreigner for a large part of her young life. She married my grandfather, Gerald Thome, who was born an American, and her family had prejudice against her because she was a foreigner. So she came to this country without speaking English. She went to school and ended up just going to the park because the classes were only taught in English and she couldn't understand anything that was going on. And so she would just go sit in the park. Then later, when she did learn English, she really wanted to graduate from high school, which was at that time for a woman, for a girl, she was expected to, they had a 2-3 room house with 12 boarders, and she had to get up every morning and clean all of the beds and the spittoons. So for her to go to high school was considered, as a woman, it was completely unnecessary. And so she ended up getting her GED years and years later, but she really valued education. She was a smart woman, a businesswoman, a woman ahead of her time. Both my grandmothers on the maternal and paternal side really were the businesswomen, married to husbands that, in this case, Grandpa Thome he would give money away before, Grandma Thome kept, a tight, view of it all. But I just think all of us need to honor, she lived to be 99 years old, and she was riding 10 miles a day on her stationary bike from, time she was in 92 to probably 94. At 92, she moved from Wisconsin to California to live with my parents, which is another story. But they wanted her to be at home for her last years, and she's 92. How long can she live? Well, she lived to be 99. And she was a strong woman, and she ended up renting out rooms and to people from all over the world. And she had so many community members and friends. She remained curious and active. And so I want to honor my grandmother and the peasant roots. We came from poverty. We came to this country just like the people here who are just coming to seek a better life, to work and make a better life. So it's easy after you've been here 2 generations and, being born an American, to feel so entitled. And then people say, well, what about the people who came here legally? And that it's not fair that these other people didn't come here legally. Well, my husband, 22 years ago came from Canada legally, and it was a mess of a situation. I'll do a separate video about our immigration. That was 22 years ago. So I have no resentment about someone who is trying to escape. And if you were in the same shoes and it came to your choice in terms of giving a better life to your family, if your family was in danger, what would you do? And so I think that what we need at this point is more compassion and a way to citizenship. I mean, if you're concerned about criminals being deported, that's one thing. But if we're concerned about criminals, why are we going to schools? Why are we going to work sites and arresting dishwashers for civil offenses? So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my maternal grandmother, honor my ancestor, Mary Masare Thome. And this is Juju, unscripted, unedited, unfiltered, and lead with love. Put the little cement ship right between there.